A lot of people ask me all the time identity in the future, and I've researched quite a bit of identity. I hold a patent actually, digital identity. So I think a lot about identity. And it used to scare me as this concept, like a very dystopian concept of having identify every human in the digital realm and like control people. And of course it could go in this social credit score direction that we see in some other countries that have taken a direction that seems to be oppressive, right? Like attaching your identity to behaviors and then giving you access to certain places or not based on that. But I think what we're seeing now, right? Because there's this questioning of who is Sam Rad? Like, is this LinkedIn profile or Instagram profile or YouTube that you're watching? Did I make this? Is this me? You know, or did some person create a deep fake and they're just sending it to you and putting words in my mouth because I have some sort of authority? The idea of having an identity, right, that's provably me, and knowing that what's coming out of my mouth is my words, my brain, and my voice attached to my likeness. This is very important. And our forms of identity, traditional forms of identity, let's say in the United States, a social security number, no longer work. It makes no sense, right? It's just a number that's so easily cloned or copied and shared. And pretty much every single person has had their identity stolen. Like your identity, sorry, the Equifax hack, like pretty much everything for years is out there. And yet we still pretend like, oh, protect your identity. It's done. It's done. There's like thousands of versions of me probably opening credit cards in some foreign country and like buying a house right now for all I know, right? It's terrifying. It's terrifying. So what that makes me think, I'm not sitting here to spread fear. It's simply an opportunity to create a new system. That's how I see anything about the future. Like this no longer works. Some number that we posted on public databases, that's done. So how are we going to, you know, like interact with each other in a world and like identify that like I'm me, I'm a human, these are my thoughts? Or do we even need to? Do we scrap the whole thing? Just be like, you don't exist in any system. And there are plenty of places around the world, like large population in India, for example, do not have like this kind of identity, no passports, everything's done in cash. We tend to associate identity or lack thereof with, let's say, criminality. Someone who doesn't want an ID or does things off grid must be doing something wrong. I don't necessarily think it's true, though that's the majority of cases. So, you know, it's something to think about. It's just questions like, again, what will be your identity or representation in the future? And then the bigger question, who owns that identity? Who governs that identity? And should it be you or someone else? If so, who?